Hey, this is Ty from Fezzari Bicycles, and today we're in the Fezzari factory showroom here, and I'm going to show you some of the tech features and setup and customizations of the new Shimano EP8 motor system. This is a brand new motor system from Shimano this year, and it's really the top of its class. They've reduced the weight, they've decreased the drag, they've made it more efficient and lighter, all while increasing the power output and the torque output of this motor. Additionally, Shimano has reduced the volume by 10%, making for a quieter motor. They've improved heat management and updated the transmission's clutch for more responsiveness to rider input. So the new Shimano EP8 motor produces 85 Newton meters of torque. They've also reduced the drag of this motor by 36% compared to the previous E8000 motor unit. They've also reduced the weight by half a pound, 250 grams, by making the new casing out of magnesium. And all of this, it contributes to a more powerful and more efficient motor. Compared to the E8000 motor unit, we'd expect to see 15 to 20% more range out of the EP8 motor system. They've also redesigned covers, debris guards, and many other features on the motor. The new Shimano EP8 motor system also is a 250 watt average motor system. As such, it's a 20 mile an hour max limit, which makes this a class 1 e-bike. And let's dive into some of the tech features and other benefits of this motor system and how you can customize it for your riding experience. Now I'm going to show you some of the features and setup and modes of the display unit, the changes you can make, and how to make all the customizations through the display unit. You can see your time, you can see your distance traveled, you have an odometer, you can see your cadence, you can see your assist speed, your current traveling speed, and lots of other features on the display. It's a really powerful tool to use while you're riding to help you understand what your e-bike's doing and the different changes you can make. Let's dive in and let me show you some of these features and how you can use them to enhance your riding experience. So, first thing we need to do is just turn on the bike. So there's a power button right here. Go ahead and press that. And your display will turn on here. The most important features when we're working on the display are the display unit itself. This is called the cycle computer, and the assist switch. It's a 2-button switch that sits on your handlebar right here. There is also a single button on the cycle computer here that you can use to access the menu mode. So if I hold this down here, I'll enter the menu mode, and using the assist switch, I can cycle through the various options on the computer, from display speed to the clock to the brightness of the settings. There's a lot of different customizations and features in here. So to start adjusting the different modes on your e-bike, the first thing you need to do is turn it on. So go ahead and locate the power button on your bike, and your display should power up here, say Shimano Steps. Now you're to the home screen here. So what you'll see first is the current speed of the bike. You'll also see the current battery level as well as the current assist mode and how much assist is being provided. So using the assist switch, you can change between assist modes. So currently there is no assist to the bike. If you press up, you'll change to eco, press up again, trail, again, boost. Boost is the highest level of assist, trail is the middle mode, and eco is the lowest assist mode. Press one more time, you're in off. The bike also has a walk feature. If you hold the assist switch down, you'll change into the walk mode. If you then hold the assist switch down, the bike will actually walk forward and the motor will spin slowly, so that if you're ever walking up a hill with the bike, it will propel itself. So that's a nice feature of the EP8 motor system. Okay, once you're on the home screen here, there are also a couple different changes you can make to modes on the display. So if you press the main home button here, you can change from your current speed to an odometer here that shows your distance. This is the current distance of your ride. To reset the distance, go ahead and hold down this home button and then press it one more time and you'll clear it. You also have an odometer that shows the total mileage of the bike. This is something that can't be reset. It's like the odometer in your car. This isn't something that you can change the mileage on. It will show the total mileage on the motor system. You also have a range indicator. Once you start riding and the computer is reading the battery voltage, how much capacity is left on the battery, how often you're using that, how much battery you're using, it will give you an estimated range. This is the time setting. This shows you the current amount of time you've been riding your bike. Again, this is a resettable feature, so you could track how long, how many hours you rode your bike last. You also have an average speed. This is the average rolling speed of the bike. This is your maximum speed. This shows the maximum speed that the bike has registered while you've been riding. You also have a cadence, so you can see how many revolutions per minute you are spinning at the cranks, as well as a clock here to see the current time. And then you come back to the home screen and this will show the current speed of the bike. To move into the menu mode where a lot of the customizations and settings are, you hold the home button right here on the bottom and you'll switch into the menu. Then there's a bunch of different features and settings in here. So a couple that are important, the clock setting. If your clock isn't set to your current time zone, if you press in here, you'll have the ability to adjust what the time is. And press the home button again to move out of that. If you have lights attached to your bike, you can turn them on and off here. You can also change the brightness of the display. So currently this is at 1, you can go up to 5, back down, press the home button again to come out. You can change if the display has a beep or not every time you press the assist switch. If you press into this mode, you can change it to on or off. The unit allows you to change what unit of distance or speed that the display shows. You have the option between miles or kilometers. Language, you can put this display in English, French, Dutch, the Netherlands, Italian, Spanish. We'll use English here. Adjust, this is only applicable to Di2 systems, not e-bikes. Shift timing as well as just a Di2 electronic shifting. Assist customize. This is probably the most important mode on the display here for e-bikes. If you press into this mode, there's 2 different profiles you can select from. Profile 1 is the controlled power mode. These are customizable by the end user, but Profile 1 is set up as the little bit lower power. This helps extend your battery range, your battery life, and it's more controlled power. Profile 2 is set up with max power. The power is turned up as high as it can go, and this gives you the max assist. It's the most draining on the battery, but you get the most power from the motor. So we'll put this back in Profile 1. RD protection reset is just for Di2 electronic shifting systems. Display speed. So if you were riding your bike and the display said you were going 20 miles an hour, but in fact you were going 25 miles an hour, you could adjust this to compensate for those small changes. This is typically done if you change your tires and your tire size is different. This should be set by your manufacturer though, and it should be fairly accurate, but you do have the option. And then you can exit from this mode by just coming down to this option here. So those are all of the features of the display, the different settings and changes you can make, and how that works. So now I'm going to show you how to connect to your e-bike through the Shimano E2 Project app. And this is applicable to both the E7000 system on the Wire Peak Comp, as well as the Wire Peak Pro and Elite with the new Shimano EP8 system. This is an app that can be downloaded onto your smartphone, onto a tablet, both on Android and iOS devices. And it can just be picked up for free on the App Store. And it's called Shimano E2 Project. So go ahead and get that downloaded. And then the first thing I'll show you is how to connect to your e-bike through the display. It's a Bluetooth connection. After we show you how to connect to the e-bike, we'll go through all the features of the app, the different customizations you can make to the drive unit, and some of the other features of the app. So let's dive in. So step 1 in connecting to the Shimano E2 Project app, you'll go ahead and select the Shimano E2 application. and allow this to open. It'll do a little update and make sure it has the latest firmware on the app. Next, go ahead and turn on your e-bike. So go ahead and start this up. Next, go ahead and select connect to a power meter or unit. It'll search for a unit and then go ahead and select that unit. It'll ask you to do a Bluetooth pairing request, give your device permission. And you'll see that the display changed from the normal home screen into the Shimano Steps mode. This will happen as it connects. When we initially connected to the bike, you'll also have seen a small little Bluetooth icon on the display. Once you are into the app and everything is connected here, if you're registering this as a new bike, go ahead and follow this link and it will walk you through some steps from Shimano. At the top of the app, you'll see a nickname. You can change this to whatever you're choosing. The stock default is Bike1. You can skip that registration here and you can just go into the body of the screen if you just want to make adjustments without registering your bike. But once you get to this screen, you're fully connected to the system and everything's ready to go. I'll now walk you through how to make different customizations and updates through this app, so you can really adjust the EP8 motor system to your riding and your terrain. So now that you've connected to the e-bike, there are a couple different pages on this app. So you've landed and you're connected here to the e-bike. There's the help section, the connected section, and the settings section of this app. So within the help section, you basically have links out to Shimano websites that give you information on how to connect to an e-bike, some Di2 setup stuff, and there's a few particular e-bike specific links inside of the assist here and the drive unit, where you get some more information about those pieces. There's some other Di2 ones in the front derailleur adjustment, the rear derailleur adjustment, and some power meter things. Those aren't too applicable to the e-bike, but there's some good information in the assist and the drive unit sections here. So the bulk of the app is this connected section here. It's the center tab with the bike. And this shows you all of the E-specific components of your bike that are linked together. So you've got the battery, the drive unit, the cycle computer or the display, and the assist switch. They will show you who the manufacturer of this piece is, the firmware, and the last time the firmware was updated and edited. You also have 3 tabs at the top of this app. You have the update tab, the customize tab, and the maintenance tab. Maintenance here will show you about the error log. You can pull these different error logs if you're having an issue on the e-bike. For additional information on error codes, please see Shimano's websites. They will have descriptions that describe each error code, as well as additional information with remedies to help you fix any errors that your e-bike is having. The customize section is really the bulk of this app. In the e-bike here, you can see the drive unit. Down here in the shift, that's for Di2 electronic shifting. You've got the switch and the display. So let's start with the display and we'll work our way up. So in the display here, you can connect into it and you can choose the units for your display measurement. You've got the yard and pound or international unit, so that would be kilometers an hour. This is miles an hour. Within shift, you have a few different options here for what you want the display to show. So you can show your traveling time, your average speed, your max speed, your cadence, your current time, and those can be toggled on and off by selecting here on the application. You have the ability to auto set up the time on the display, or you can do it manually. We've set them with auto and they'll auto adjust to what the factory set them as. You can also adjust whether the display makes a beep each time you press a button, either on the assist switch or on the display itself. Sometimes that's nice to have, sometimes it bugs people, so you can just toggle that on and off here as well. You can also adjust the brightness of the display. I found that for outside riding, level 4 is usually bright enough. It really doesn't take very much battery to run the display, so just set that to whatever your preference is. You can also choose the language for the display as well. So there's a few different options in there. The last thing you can do is you can change the name of the display. So right now it's set to SC-EM800. That's Shimano's model number for your display. But if you had multiple e-bikes, you could come in here and change this to my e-bike. They don't allow any spaces, but you can set things up there so you can customize what the cycle computer or that display is called, so you know what you're connecting to. So we'll set this back to the default. Okay. You also have the ability to set a passkey or a passcode within the display unit. From the factory, it's set stock as 6 zeros, but you can do any 6-number combination, 6-digit combination. You have to change it here. So you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you could change that. You hit apply and that saves that to the display. If you ever forget your passcode, you can reset it through the Shimano E2 project app for PCs. Once you're connected, you navigate to the cycle computer here, and you can reinitialize the passkey. This is most easily accomplished by visiting a Shimano dealer who has the software and the necessary tool to reset your passkey. And then the other button that's really nice, if you ever just mess up too many settings, you can also just hit this and reset everything to the factory default. And that's a really nice thing to have. So I'll do that here. We can apply those settings, and then when you get the check mark, you know you're done. Again, you just have your shift mode here. That's for Di2 electronic systems. And this is really the bulk of the e-bike now, where we get into this e-bike setting. So the first thing we'll do is we'll jump into the drive unit here. Within this setting, you can adjust two things. You can adjust the maximum assist speed that the motor puts out. It's limited to 20 miles an hour in the United States. And you can adjust the display speed offset. So what the display speed offset is if you were riding your bike and the computer is saying you're going 20 miles an hour, but in fact you're going 19.5 miles an hour, you rode past a speedometer or something on the road, you could offset that by a percentage so that you know your bike has an accurate speed readout. This doesn't actually change what the motor assists you to, that's all fixed, but you can change the display speed a little bit. This is also useful if you change your tire sizes. A larger tire has a larger diameter, and so there's more circumference to that tire. You roll faster, you're rolling more per rotation, so sometimes you want to offset that display speed so it's accurate. And those changes can just be made here in the app. You hit complete, you could apply it to the bike. Again, there's this button here that will reset you back to the default settings. So, okay, now we'll get into the assist modes. This is the best feature of the Shimano EP8 system. And what this is it allows you to set up 2 profiles on your bike, 2 different motor assist profiles. So you can have a full power mode and maybe a little bit more controlled power mode or a battery saver mode. And this can all be customized within the app. So up here at the top of the screen, you have Profile 1. If you press these arrows, you'll switch over to Profile 2. Profile 1 is typically set up by manufacturers as the controlled power mode. The power is brought down a little bit, the assist and boost is brought down a little bit, the output of the motor is brought down just a little bit so that you have a more controlled riding experience. So within Profile 1, you've got your 3 different assist modes. You've got Eco, you've got Trail, and you've got Boost. So within the assist character, you can change it to different levels of assist character. And what this changes is how the motor responds to rider input. So when you are set to level 10, that's the most powerful level, a smaller amount of rider input, a smaller effort by the rider, leads to a large motor output. So you put a little bit of pressure on the pedals and the motor is really responsive. It starts the power up and translates a lot of power through that chainring and then thus through the rear wheel. If you slide this bar down, you change how the motor responds to rider input. and how quickly it does that. So if you slide from level 10 down to level 5, let's say, it takes more rider input, more pressure on those pedals, on the cranks, to get the same motor output. So that's kind of what that changes in assist character. This is something you can fiddle with, and most people in boost will set that between level 10 and level 9. In the max torque setting, you can actually change how hard the motor pushes. So it's a little bit confusing between assist character and max torque, but torque is the equivalent of linear force, but in a rotation. So it's how hard that motor can turn an object and thus propel you up the hill. So you can adjust this between 85 Newton meters all the way down to 20 Newton meters, depending on the mode. So that is another feature, as well as here in the profile, you can also adjust the assist start. So if your bike is completely stopped and you're not moving at all, and you're starting on your initial pedal stroke, the assist start changes how the bike responds during the first few seconds of pedaling. This is really helpful if you're climbing up a hill and you kind of get stopped and you need to start again. If the motor starts up really, really fast, then it can cause your rear tire to spin out. So sometimes it's nice to lower that assist startup, and that just gives you more controlled power when you're starting the bike from a dead stop. So you've got several levels of adjustment in here, and you can see what the defaults are. It'll give a little default next to this. It also is indicated by the small white dot. So when you get to the small white dot on the slider bar, then you know you're in the default setting. So these can then each be adjusted in trail mode and in eco mode here. And you can see what the different outputs are, what the different levels are, your max torque, your assist start, your assist characteristics, and you can set this in each profile. So again, if we kind of do a comparison here, if we look at boost in profile 1 at the defaults, we're at level 9 on assist character, 85 Newton meters of torque, and level 4 on assist start. This is the more controlled profile. If you jump to profile 2, you're at the max power. So profile 2 is your max power output. You're at level 10, you're at 85 Newton meters of torque, you're at level 5 of assist start. So then if we compare trail, you go down to level 7, 70 Newton meters of torque, and still a level 5 of assist. This is profile 2. This is the top power, as much power as you can get, as quick as you can get it. But if we change it to profile 1, we lower that even a little bit more. So we're at a level 5 on assist character, 63 Newton meters of torque, level 3 start, which just gives you more control of the e-bike power. Same goes for eco as well. So this is really the bulk of the tuning that can be done on the Shimano EP8 motor system that the E8000 before it and the current E7000 cannot do. So this is unique to the EP8 motor system, and it's really, really awesome to be able to make these really fine adjustments and adjust these things to your riding terrain. So maybe you live in an area that's really, really flat and you can go full power all the time. Well, you can adjust it to that. If you live in a really mountainous area, there may be times when you're doing really technical climbing that more control is what you're looking for. And in that case, you want to lower the power output, maybe even the torque a little bit, the assist start, so that you can have controlled power of that e-bike in the situations that you need it. Once you've made any changes here, you can then come hit apply, and this will apply these to the bikes. The assist customized profile takes a little bit longer than the others, but you'll get the check mark when it's all completed. The last thing you can do is see the updates of what each e-bike component needs. So all of these are to the latest update, but if there ever were one that needed an update, you could select it and you can update all, or you can update individual components right through the Bluetooth connection. The last tab on the app is your settings tab. This is where you can just make adjustments to the app itself. You can link out to the E2 project website so you can get more information on the bike. You can also set the language of your app, and there's some other things like that. So those are some of the features and setup and customizations you can make in the E2 project app to the new Shimano EP8 motor system. It makes it really, really versatile for a lot of different riding, whether you live in flat terrain or a really mountainous area. You can customize the motor tuning on your e-bike in a way that you've never been able to do before. It makes for just a very, very controlled motor that has power when you want it and control when you need it. So I really recommend getting this app, getting it set up, learning what settings work for you, and build those profiles so you can have an e-bike that fits your needs. Once you've finished all of the customizations and updates you want to make to your bike, you need to make sure you select this pink disconnect button on the app. Go ahead and select that, and that disconnects everything from the system. Your display will beep once and return to the normal home screen. You'll then be able to ride the bike and you have all the adjustments here on your home screen. So that's an overview of the new Shimano EP8 system. If you have any questions about it, just give us a phone call, send us a text message, or send us an email. We're here to help answer your questions and get more riders out on the trails enjoying e-bikes and the Shimano EP8 motor system. Thanks.